Alright, gang. Today we're going to get back into the not so distant past, and we're going to cover Albert Beckles, Man of Granite. Now, that was the title of a 1982 Iron Man article that I happen to have. It's not this. This is a different cover of Iron Man, so don't get the wrong impression. But he's been on quite a few covers, and we'll share probably most of them during this video. Most of them were actually on health and strength because while he's from Barbados, he did move to the UK ultimately and lived there for most of his bodybuilding heyday. So this article, he had just won the New England Grand Prix, and it was basically congratulating him, asking him how he felt, what his goals were, and it's all in the text here. So there he is on one of the health and strengths in 70. He really kind of began his bodybuilding career in 65 and won some local stuff. But I'm going to show you his list of bodybuilding contests down the road here a little bit, courtesy of musclememory.com. Awesome site. They do get occasionally, they'll have a typo, it'll get a little something wrong, and I'll show you an example as we get to it. There he is on one of the health and strength magazines. And he says this is up in 82, up to then his greatest contest win was the Universe. And this picture is I have also two muscle and fitness articles, both from 85. One was just about the double split program and his use of it. So I just have a couple pictures from that and just a page of the routine set up for that. I thought it would have been redundant to have that whole article, and then I'm going to have a really nice shoulder routine from him, which is towards the end of the video. Color pictures, text boxes, whole nine. Of course, he talks about goals for the future, one of them being the Mr. Olympia. He actually placed in the top 5 in like 6 Mr. Olympias, which is pretty awesome. And he came in second to Lee Haney. That was the best he ever did. Came in second to Lee Haney in one of the Mr. Olympias. But you'll see he's won a whole bunch of other contests. Now, here's the typo. It says that he was born in 38. From his word himself, he says it was 36. So slightly wrong. And then online, you'll find places where it says 1930 and 1938. Obviously, both of which are wrong. So here's the start of his first big win of Mr. Universe. Came in, that was 3rd place in 65. There he is, Mr. Britain, Universe overall winner in 71, on a different two universes, actually, I believe. Grand Prix out the yin yang, where he placed high or won. And somebody was saying on one of the YouTube videos on him that he was in over 100 contests during the course of his life. So, and from the 60s to the 90s. And in the 90s, he was getting up there. He's in his 50s, and he's beating guys like half his age. And he's 88. He actually does have a Facebook page, but he's not on there a whole lot. The last time he was on there was like 4 years ago. But it's definitely him, because you see his picture and some of who his friends are. And I saw a video with Charles Glass where he was talking to him, and it was recent. And he's old, man. He's 88, and he still trains, almost every day, he says. So here's the double split routine kind of laid out. It has 2 different versions. This picture is from that Muscle and Fitness article, and he's just, his shoulder, he's just massive. His biceps are great, and he really doesn't have any weak points. So we're going to roll into the delt routine here. This is from my Muscle and Fitness from June of '85, and a lot of sets. He was definitely into volume, and I'm talking about training like 4 to 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, which would kill most of us, but not Albert. And again, he's from Barbados. One of our readers told me that Victor Richards, who I said was from Africa, is also actually from Barbados. He's probably right. I found information suggesting both, but I'm going to take. I believe the gentleman's name was Frank. Told me it was Barbados, and then he, was talking about all these other guys that are from Barbados, including, of course, Albert Beckles, which made me think, yeah, I haven't really covered Albert Beckles, and he's one of the greatest bodybuilders in history. And he's still alive. He's one of those guys I don't have to say rest in peace at the end of the video. There he is in peak muscle. On the cover. Again, he's on the cover of probably about 10 different magazines. But besides the covers, he's been in tons of other magazines, for workouts and things like that. He talks about here letting himself get a little bit out of shape, and then he learned from that. So he's going to talk about the exercises he does, and there's quite a number. And there's the first few. Now, then it's going to, weirdly, the article goes into his favorite Weider training principles, and especially related to shoulder training here. So we'll go through them. There's always that's kind of a standard Weider thing with these kind of articles. And there's the double split training routine, isolation principle, the slow continuous tension principle, supersets principle. So I'm sure you've heard of all these. Then he talks about, so this is the rest of the exercises. So it's 8 exercises for, like, pretty much all of them are 4 sets of 12, and some of them are supersetted, as he mentioned. So these next couple pages of text are more kind of generally the way he trains and stuff. You can sit there and read those. But here he's saying, most bodybuilders seem to feel 4 to 6 hours a day is overtraining, but it's not for me. And he said, yeah, of course you can't. You're just starting. You got to do something more reasonable, like a couple sets of 8 on each exercise until your muscles start to grow and you gradually build up on your volume and your weight, etc. So here's the first exercise, obviously, dumbbell lateral raise. And it'll be a little text box. He gives a little bit more description of how it's done. There he is. So semicircular arcs, both out to the sides and upwards. And there he is doing machine front press, Smith machine. And again, he says you can do this behind the neck too. It's going to both hit the front delts. And then he does, looks almost more like a universal press. But again, it's just a machine front press. And he says if you don't have the Smith machine, you can do it on a universal type apparatus or whatever you have. And then there's upright rows. Again, doesn't seem to be a hugely popular exercise these days, but this was the 80s, of course. This was 85, so. And he says it's a good move for the delt trap tie-in. And he does, also you're going to see down the road here, he does shrugs too, which I always considered, this is one hand, one arm cable lateral raises. Pretty obvious. And, you know, to me that would be redundant to doing the dumbbell raises, but he likes the volume. This one I've never seen before until this particular, where he's doing barbell front raises on an incline bench. So that's kind of unusual. But he says it's really good. It's one of his favorite exercises. So never tried it, but maybe it's worth a shot. Then, of course, you have your bent over dumbbell laterals to hit the rear delts, which he doesn't seem to do a whole lot of rear delts in this routine. And there he is doing the shrugs, which to me, shrugs hit your traps. Your traps are part of your back more so than your shoulders. But, I mean, it does tie into your shoulders, obviously. So that's the way he does it. This is from the other Muscle and Fitness article. These pictures are just showing like his shoulder development there, kind of close up and bent over, and then his tricep on the right-hand side there. We'll get a closer up picture there. But the dude was just massive, one of the most prolific bodybuilders of all time. And like I said, one of the most notable things is when he was in his 50s, he was still competing at a very high level. So that about wraps it up for Albert. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you liked the video, please hit those like buttons, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks, and I'm out.